What is up, my friends? Just a quick video. I have some videos coming up tomorrow or whenever you're watching this later in the day. But I just wanted to talk about this really quick news that is just insane and I think is going to change everything. So remember when I did this one video, I forgot what video it was, but I talked about Trolls and I said it's going to change the movie industry. Like, it's just going to change everything from here. Well, turns out it actually is. So Trolls World Tour actually is a film that came out on digital release. It was supposed to come out on the big screen, but as you know, with everything going on right now, it just couldn't because everything shuttered down. Well, Trolls World Tour went on to make over $100 million in digital rentals. And so Universal pretty much said, hey, now when everything goes back to normal, I think we'll do something where we'll release some on the big screen and we'll release it as well on the streaming platforms, all that. It's sort of going to be, you want to go to the movies, check it out. If you don't, you can come over here and check it out. Up to you. And I just thought that that was great because we know that things aren't going to go back to normal once things reopen. As we've seen many places say already, there's only going to be a certain cap of people that can go to the theater at a time, restaurant, gym, bar, whatever. It's just going to be like that from here on out. There is no form of normalcy yet until there is something that can be done. So Universal said this, right? Well, AMC fired back, and this is what they had to say. The company had this to say. Therefore, effective immediately, AMC will no longer play any Universal movies in any of the theaters in the United States, Europe, or the Middle East. This policy affects any and all Universal movies per se, goes into effect today, and as our theaters reopen, and is not some hollow or ill-considered threat. So, pretty much we're like, holy shit, AMC is one of the biggest theaters out there alongside Cinemark and Regal. And Universal is, I think, the biggest company out there because they release a ton of movies that go on to make billions of dollars. No doubt about that. I mean, Fast 9, $1 billion. Jurassic Park, $1 billion. Minion, The Rise of Gru, close to $1 billion. And also, they have a bunch of other movies that come out that still do pretty good and don't have to be $1 billion movies, but Universal pretty much knows how to make their movies go to the big leagues. And now that we're hearing that one of the biggest companies in the theaters are saying this, it really is going to be a time when I think everything is about to change because the social disruption is already here and had been brewing already from Netflix, from Hulu, from Apple TV, Disney Plus, all of this, because people were going out less because of all of that. It just going to be something that, like, this whole thing going on that was going to disrupt it, and it's insane now to see what Universal will respond to that. I don't see the problem myself with what Universal wants to do, but from a standpoint of the theaters, I can see it because less people will go to the theaters because they'll be able to get that experience at home. Even some people don't care if they get the big experience, like the big screen, everything. And I think theaters are going to have to do something themselves because a lot of theaters are pretty run down, and many people don't see the point in going to a theater when sometimes the screen is badly lit, the sound is horrible, and you just don't have a clean theater most of the time, and food is kind of trash. And I know that's what theaters pretty much thrive on, so you would think that they would kind of make that better, but I think theaters are going to have to do something as well. And I don't see other movies like studios not doing the same as Universal's doing or something similar, because people aren't going to go out and watch a movie jam packed like they used to, not for a while. And I think that they really should start to realize that we got to do something in order to get this to work, because there just has to be some sort of agreement, I feel, because it doesn't make any sense for them to want to get mad at the studio when the studio spent a ton of money trying to get this made. And of course, they want as many eyeballs to see it. But if many eyeballs can't be in one place to see it, it just makes sense to separate it out. And I think that that's something that the theater isn't really looking at, because I don't think that they're thinking that far ahead, that when these big releases come out, they are still not going to be able to get full capacity, as we've seen and heard already from many people. So I think that that's going to be a very interesting thing that we have to discuss in the coming days. And as many places are starting to reopen and more people are starting to go out, there is still restrictions out there. And even without restrictions, many people are still choosing not to go to places that were very much jam packed before. So, a theater, I think, is going to have to really rethink about what they're doing and really get out there and make these experiences different in order for people to come. So, I don't know how they're going to be able to do that. And I mean, AMC is a theater chain in my area as well. And we have Cinemark, we have Regal. And I'm going to say, if you were going to uh, put them in order from like what is the one I would definitely choose, Regal definitely is more premium. It is a premium price you pay for it, but you do get a better picture, a better sound, and it just feels more kept up. Not saying that all the AMCs in my area are bad, because there's some AMCs that are better than some of the Cinemarks in my area, but it's just like, for the most part, I think that AMC has been struggling a bit with that. And I don't know, I guess subscriptions are just going to have to be the new thing as well that they've been doing before, and just try to get that going even more, because if more of the consumers are going to be wanting to stream at home, and it just makes more sense for their wallets, and of course for their safety, their own safety, it just is like, I guess you really can't blame them for doing that. And I think that there is a way where maybe they could find a partnership in that. But then again, Universal has proven with Trolls that they can just pretty much get it out there to all of these streaming platforms, and the rentals will go crazy. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Universal has yet to respond. Well, probably tomorrow we'll get some, because Universal has a ton of movies coming out, huge movies. I'm like I said, movies that they know are gonna go into the billion-dollar leagues, and I just wouldn't see it them not reaching some compromise with AMC, and AMC is gonna have to budge some way or another. I think because they need that too. Because yeah, you can have the Walt Disney movies, you can have the Warner Brothers, but Universal is a big part. It's usually those three are the big players. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on it? Would you think it's better for them to release a movie in theaters and then release it at the same time on demand? And if you want to go to the theater, you'll go, because I would be somebody myself who would want to check it out in theaters. I want to get the full experience of the big screen, especially for some movies. I mean, like Tenet, that's a movie I definitely want to see on the big screen, and I could not see myself just renting it. Of course, I would rent it later on, but my first experience would have to be the big screen for that. So I don't see why AMC is very panicky about this, because many people do just wait for the movie to be released on Blu-ray and DVD before they ever see it, because it's just so expensive to go to the theater sometimes. So I don't see why they're being very, very pissed off about this and not just letting it go, because people that want to go to the theater are going to go to the theater. The people that are going to get the on demand will probably be the people that were going to wait for this movie anyway, especially with people like kids' movies like Trolls. I can really see how people would want to wait, because we know sometimes kids do not behave in the theaters, and it's just easier to just go ahead, watch it at home, not spend all of that money, and it's just easier. I don't see the point in it. I do really think that we're going to go further into the streaming world with other studios. It's just they haven't announced it yet. But I think as we get closer to that summer blockbuster slate that is heavily filled with movies, we're going to see a lot of studios start to say, you know what, we will release our movies on streaming. If the theaters want to have it, they can have it as well. But it's just going to be that, because that's the only way that they're going to make the money out of the hundreds of millions of dollars they spend sometimes on these movies. But as I said, I want to know your opinion. My opinion is the studio and the theaters should reach an agreement, but I think it should definitely be both. I think they should be able to release the movie on stream, and they should be able to release it in theaters. People will go to the theaters. People still want that cinematic experience, but some people can't afford it. And as I said, with social distancing guidelines that are being placed down for different businesses, I just don't see how a theater is going to not let them do both and just have nothing at the end of the day, you know? So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think? You think Universal's in the right? And my goodness, congratulations to Universal as well on that 100 million plus for Trolls. And it's just it's insane time we're living in. Honestly, a lot of changes to a lot of industries, but this one in particular was one I didn't see going this way. I really thought that AMC wasn't, well, like, not even any of the theaters were going to be pissed about it, but I guess we're just going to have to wait and see how this plays out. Anyways, as always, let me know your thoughts. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, hit that like, comment, share, all that good stuff. We talk all the shows on Netflix you love. Outer Banks Season 2 Theories video is up already. Go check that out. Defending Jacob video will come out today. That's on Apple TV. Go check out that show. Highly recommended. But as always, I hope you all are doing safe, social distancing, all of that. Stay positive.